You're staring at your phone again. Thumb hovering over the screen, message typed, deleted, typed again, deleted again. You finally send it, then instantly feel your chest tighten like you just made a mistake you can't take back. Now you're watching the chat, rereading your own text, replaying your tone, scanning for anything that sounded weird, needy, awkward, too much. And the second her reply takes a little longer than usual, your whole inner world shifts. What did I do? Did I come off wrong? Why do I always ruin this? Should I send another text? Should I just disappear now? Here's the truth most people never tell you. You're not pushing people away because you don't want connection. You're pushing it away because, somewhere deep down, connection feels dangerous. You're not crazy. This isn't about being broken. And man, most guys who deal with this never hear it explained in a way that actually makes sense. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the clearest signs of Avoidant Personality Disorder, how it shows up in your dating life, your habits, your silence, your overthinking, and why the very thing you want most can start feeling like the one thing you have to escape. Let's get into it. Most guys believe avoidance means you're just shy, cold, antisocial, or not ready yet. But the real truth is much deeper than that. Avoidant personality disorder isn't about not caring. It's about caring so much that your nervous system tries to protect you from humiliation before life even has the chance to test you. That's why you can want people, need people, miss people, and still pull away from them. And when this shows up around women, she doesn't just notice your words. She senses the hesitation. She feels your energy tighten. She feels a wall go up right when warmth should be growing. Her gut starts saying, "Why does it feel like he's here, but not fully here?" That's the part most guys miss, because this pattern is not loud, not dramatic, not obvious in the way people think. It can look calm. It can look polite. It can even look mysterious. But underneath it, your whole mindset is bracing for rejection. Not real rejection. Anticipated rejection. Not confidence. Not healthy privacy. Not "I'm just selective" energy. But silent self-protection, disguised as personality. And here's the thing. Once you see the signs clearly, your whole life starts making more sense. Your dating patterns, your overthinking, your disappearing acts, your fear of being fully seen. So, let's break down the signs that matter most. 1. The rejection radar. Here's the part nobody talks about. Most guys walk into a conversation wondering if it'll go well. If you lean avoidant, you walk in already scanning for proof it won't. That's the deeper pattern. Your brain isn't reading the moment. It's pre-defending against pain. So when a woman pauses before answering, looks away for a second, or seems slightly distracted, you don't experience that as neutral. You experience it as a threat. Most guys miss one awkward beat and keep talking. You feel one awkward beat, and your whole vibe shifts. Wrong approach sounds like this. She looked at her phone. Yeah, she's bored. I should wrap this up. Right awareness sounds like this. She looked at her phone. That might mean nothing. Stay grounded. Stay present. Don't let fear narrate reality. And when you learn not to worship every tiny signal, she feels less pressure and more calm around you. 2. You need certainty before you open. This is the one most guys completely miss. Most guys slowly open up as trust builds. Avoidant patterns make you feel like you need proof of acceptance before you can even begin. That sounds safe, but it quietly kills real connection. Because relationships don't start with certainty. They start with small emotional risk, a little honesty, a little exposure, a little, this is me. If you only move when you feel guaranteed approval, you stay locked behind glass. And she feels it. Her brain starts saying, why does it feel like I can't reach him? Not because you're mean, not because you're fake, not because you're trying to play it cool, but because your fear is asking for a contract before your heart takes a step. Wrong approach. She says, you're hard to read, and you laugh it off with, nah, I'm just chill.
Right approach. She says, you're hard to read, and you answer, sometimes I hold back more than I should. I'm working on being more real. That one sentence changes the energy instantly. Because when you stop hiding behind coolness, she feels your genuine presence instead of your protection. 3. Neutral feedback feels personal. And here's where it gets interesting. Most guys can hear mild criticism and move on. If you have avoidant traits, even small feedback can hit like a public humiliation. Not because you're weak, because underneath it, there's often a brutal self-concept that already believes, I'm probably not enough. So a simple comment like, you've been distant lately, doesn't land as information, it lands as exposure. A woman isn't just reacting to what you say in these moments. She's reacting to the sudden emotional drop she feels in your energy. The defensiveness, the shutdown, the silence. Wrong approach. She says, I feel like you pull away, and you reply, so now I'm the problem? Right approach. She says, I feel like you pull away, and you say, yeah, sometimes I do that when I feel judged. I know it's not always fair to you. That response is grounded. It's real. And that's emotional oxygen in a moment that usually turns cold. Because when you stop treating feedback like a verdict, she feels safe enough to stay honest with you. 4. You retreat when closeness gets real. But here's what changes everything. Most guys think avoidance means fear of starting. A lot of the time, it's actually fear of being known. That's why things can feel good at first. Texting is flowing. Chemistry is there. The vibe feels effortless. Then, the second it gets more intimate, more serious, more emotionally real, something in you hits the brakes. You reply slower. You get vague. You feel tired for no reason. You suddenly need space the moment connection starts becoming real. That's not random. That's the intimacy alarm. Her gut starts saying, why do I feel him leaving right when we were getting closer? And that confusion hits hard, because from her side, it feels like warmth turned into distance overnight.
Sometimes that's true.
But sometimes it's camouflage, not discernment, not maturity, not peace, but fear wearing a calm face. And women pick up on this too. Because a man with a small, defensive life often brings hesitant energy into connection.
She feels the ceiling before the relationship even starts. Wrong approach. You skip the party, avoid the call, turn down the invite, and call it protecting your peace. Right approach. You feel the discomfort, go anyway, stay present for 1 hour, and prove to yourself that anxiety doesn't get final authority. That's not a tactic. That's identity work. And when your world stops collapsing inward, she feels that you're a man who can actually hold life instead of hide from it. 7. You crave connection, then choose isolation. And here's the hardest sign of all, man. Most guys assume people who isolate just want to be alone. But with avoidant personality disorder, the pain is often that you want closeness deeply and still choose distance because distance feels safer. That contradiction is brutal. You want the text. You fear the text. You want to be known. You fear what happens if you are. So you fantasize about connection, replay old conversations, imagine future intimacy, maybe even feel addicted to the idea of being loved. But when real closeness asks something from you, vulnerability, consistency, emotional exposure, you pull back into silence because silence feels controllable. That's the trap. Imagined connection feels safer than real connection. Wrong approach. I'll reach out when I feel better about myself. Right approach. I don't need to become perfect before I let myself be seen. And if several of these signs feel painfully familiar, don't diagnose yourself from a video and disappear into a label. Use it as a mirror. Use it as a starting point. And get real support from a licensed mental health professional if this pattern is running your life. Because when you stop romanticizing isolation, she feels the difference instantly. She feels a man who is finally becoming available to life, not just available in theory. So here's the real shift. This is not about memorizing symptoms. It's about recognizing the pattern that's been quietly shaping your whole life and deciding you're done letting fear wear your face. This isn't about becoming smoother. It's about becoming more honest, more grounded, more real in your own skin. Because once you see that your avoidance was never your identity, only your protection, everything starts to move. Your voice changes, your presence changes, your relationships change. And here's the mic drop truth. The moment you stop hiding from rejection is the moment you stop rejecting your own life. If this video hit harder than you expected, then the next thing you need to understand is how this pattern turns into self-sabotage in dating, texting, and attraction without you even noticing it. So go watch the next video, and let's break down how to stop pushing away the very connection you've been wanting this whole time.